Now the review for this exam, exam 4, looking at your stats chapter. So the first page is a lot of just reading graphs correctly. So I tried to copy it as best I could. So the first question wants to know what was the approximate cumulative probability of quitting cocaine after 10 years of dependency. So, I mean, the biggest thing is just being very careful which line you're looking at and making sure you line things up correctly. So 10 years is right here, and cocaine is the upper one. So if we kind of roll over, it looks like it's pretty close to 0.8. That's the probability. So the answer to 1 would be 0.8. So how many years of dependency of marijuana with a cumulative probability of 0.22? So now we're working in reverse. So, okay, again, we want marijuana, so that's going to be the lower line. And now, so if we look at a cumulative probability of 0.22, which is right about here, it looks like it's right about at 2 years of dependency. So that would be the answer for number 2 years. So again, a lot of quick ones, but then there's other ones that you're going to have to think a little bit more deeply about. So the next one, what was the approximate difference in the cumulative probability of quitting cocaine and marijuana after 14 years of dependency? All right, so now we got to go to 14 years. So we got a couple of probabilities we're going to try to read off. Now it gets a little bit tougher to approximate the further away from the scale you get. So sometimes just a little guide to kind of help point you in the right direction. It's not a bad thing. So this one is pretty close to 0.8. It might be a smidgen under. This one again is kind of close to 0.9, but again, if you look at the one that is on the review sheet, I think those are a little bit off. I'm going to say that this one is about 0.88, and this one I'm going to say was about 0.79. It's a little bit underneath. So the biggest thing is you want to approximate those with as much accuracy as you possibly can, but use the scale to really corroborate your answer. So now that we know what those two values are, all they want is the difference. So all we got to do is subtract them. So you're going to get 0.88 minus 0.79. So that should equal 0.09. So that is all they want. They just want the difference in the cumulative probabilities, so that's what we get. Now the last question takes us back to some earlier stuff that we used to do. It says, what was the approximate percentage of increase in the cumulative probabilities of someone quitting cocaine from 2 to 4 years of dependency? So now we're looking specifically at cocaine. So that's our upper one. And so they want from 2 to 4 years. So 2 to 4 years. So looking at 2, it's going to be about 0.3. So that's 0.3. And then at 4, well, I'm going to say it looks pretty darn close to 0.5. So it doesn't have a point. So we're going to have to, again, just approximate. So now that we know what those values are at those 2 points in time, now we can use our formula. So remember, percent increase or decrease is always the same formula. It's the change over the original value times 100%. So now, if we find the change, we're just going to subtract those two values, but then we want to divide by what it was originally. So remember, originally we're going to start with the 2 years, and then as we go to 4 years, so we're just going to go chronologically. So 0.3. So this is going to be 0.2 over 0.3, which is equal to 0.66666 And so if we multiply it by 100 and round it, we're going to get 66.7%. So that would be the approximate percentage of increase, 66.7%. All right, so that wraps up the first page, and we'll see about some more pages to come.